Good morning. In our gospel, Jesus gave no sign to the Pharisees and to the Sadducees who were wishing to see a sign to prove whether or not Jesus is the Messiah. It says there, the scribe and the Pharisee were asking for Jesus a sign that he is the one based on his claim that he is, because Jesus for them was just claiming where in fact he is not the Messiah for them. And Jesus in reply, there will be no sign for this evil generation, because Jesus knew what is inside of their hearts. But Jesus said to them, the people of Nineveh will rise up to this generation and will condemn them. Because when Jonah was preaching in Nineveh about repentance, the people who are not an Israelites repented. They tore their cloth and put on the sackcloth and covered their head with ashes. Because when they heard the preaching of Jonah about repentance, and Jesus said, Father, the queen of Sheba, or the queen of south, will rise up upon against this generation, you Sadducees and Pharisees. Jesus said, the queen of the south, the queen of Sheba, who traveled from Yemen or Ethiopia all the way to Israel and Jerusalem, will rise up against you. This queen, this woman, traveling for 3 years just to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And here I am greater than Jonah. Here I am greater than Solomon himself. Right in front of you. Yet you do not believe. We all know that Jesus, according to St. Athanasius, that Jesus is the incarnate wisdom. And the queen of Sheba was longing to hear the wisdom of Solomon. Yet Jesus himself is the incarnate wisdom of God, who became flesh and who were among them, but they weren't able to see who Jesus was. I hope today's gospel, my son, will make us realize that God is a great God, yet God is so humble. He humbles himself to show us the way how to live like him. Ang humility man God, ang pag-humble down sa atong kagalingon is something Satan cannot understand, because Satan didn't experience humility. That is why we can use humility, or we can weaponize humility to fight against the principalities of this world. For the battle in this world is not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities that roams on earth. And I can add furthermore, aside from humility, we can weaponize submission and love. Because there is no love for the devil. There is no love for Satan. And submission also. Because there is no love and submission for Satan and devil. But of course, humility. There's one defection, that Satan doesn't have a legs. That is why he cannot kneel, because kneeling is a sign of humility. That means Satan doesn't know what is humility. He doesn't know what is submission, and he doesn't know what is love, because he cannot be humbled he cannot submit, and he cannot love. We can weaponize this attribute that God gave us: love, submission, or obedience, and humility. That is the way of the cross. That is the way of Christ. That is how to defeat the principalities and powers of this world through the example that Christ has set before us. Please stand.